Tendus are one of the building blocks of ballet. To perform a tendu, start from first or fifth position. Slide the foot along the floor in front of you, behind you, or to the side until your foot comes to a full point. The word tendu is also used to describe the position of the leg being straight with the toe pointed on the floor. It's important to turn out your leg. Think of getting the bottom of your shoe to face the front of the room. It's not going to, but it's an effective image. Tendu means to stretch, so stretch that leg as straight as you can. You'll feel it in your quads just above the knee if your leg is fully straightened. And point your toes. If your foot cramps, you're probably doing it right. Lastly, your foot never leaves the floor in a tendu. When tendus get fast, it's tempting to simply plop that foot in and out of the tendu position. I tell my pre-ballet students to pretend to scoop ice cream with their feet. Ice cream is hard to scoop, so you have to push that leg straight into the floor. At this level, you may be asked to use the arm. Often, tendus devant are done with the arm en haut, and tendus derrière with the arm in arabesque. The arm stays in second for tendus à la seconde. You will typically only use the arm if tendus are slow, or if there are multiple tendus in a row all in the same position. Your teacher will generally specify when to use the arm. If not, a good rule of thumb is, if your arms will have to switch positions too much or too quickly for comfort, just keep them in second. By this point, you're pretty good at keeping your knees straight on the way out to the tendu position. Now it's time to focus on maintaining that straightness when you close, especially if you're closing to fifth because it's harder. You'll thank yourself when you have to do tendus alternating legs. Keep your hips square and your weight centered over your standing leg. You should be able to lift your foot off the ground easily without having to adjust your weight. It's easy to let your leg pull your hip with it. To combat this, think of lengthening your leg in both directions. Keep your heel forward to make a long, beautiful line. For tendus to the front and side, your heel leads the way out. Let's try a tendu devant. Keeping your toes where they are, slide your heel forward until it has no choice but to leave the floor. Only then can you let your toes leave their spot. Keep pushing the heel forward, letting the toes trail behind until you're in a fully stretched tendu position. Then, it's your toes' turn to lead the way back to first. In à la seconde, it's not as easy to visualize, but the same concept applies. Start with that little forward scooch of the heel so your leg is turned out. Keep that heel forward on the way in. For tendus derrière, it's the opposite. The toe leads on the way out, and the heel leads on the way back in. At this level, it's time to focus on foot articulation. Imagine your foot is a sticker that you're peeling off the floor. Your heel only leaves the floor when you can't slide your foot out anymore without pulling your weight off your standing leg. The ball of your foot shouldn't leave the floor until the very end of the tendu. On the way back in, touch each part of the foot to the floor as soon as you possibly can. Basically, just pretend your foot really wants to stay stuck to the floor. When closing tendus to fifth position, be sure to cross your fifths. You should reach a proper toe-to-heel, heel-to-toe position every time. If you find yourself constantly closing in third instead of fifth, it could be a sign that your tendus aren't directly in front or behind you. Your toes should line up with the arch of your standing foot. You can make your tendus look crisp and clear by holding the out and in positions. If the accent is out, get to that tendu position quickly and hold it until the last possible second. This is the time to show off your lovely pointed feet. When the accent is in, hold that fifth or first position. That's your home base. This is a chance to recenter and feel that stability. Once again, you'll thank yourself if you have to switch feet. This is a really small detail my teacher recently asked me to focus on. When you close your tendu, make sure the outside edge of your foot returns to the floor. I know, it feels like you're sickling because you kind of are. What you're essentially doing is changing that winged foot we love so much back to a neutral foot. You kind of have to do it though, otherwise you end the tendu pronated. Be cautious of closing tendu with a clawed foot. Even when tendus are fast, remember to maintain your beautiful foot articulation. Tendus, like pliés, are one of the most important steps to master because they're a building block of nearly every other move in ballet. Be cautious of forgetting to improve your tendus just because tendus are simple. Practice the basics, and your dancing will improve overall.